Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tres Jolie channel, or my channel. I am just going to kind of get right in to where this is going, even though there's pictures up, everybody's seen the end result, but anyhow, the cut file that I used for the Birdhouse is from the Silhouette store, and it is ID 271046, and it's the Birdhouse 3D Gable box by Snapdragon Snippets. And on my blog I will post the link to the Snapdragon Snippet instructions. They have their own assembly instructions, pictures, photo tutorial. There we go. A photo tutorial of how to put this together. But I also need to mention that this is not the original size. I enlarged the pieces until the largest piece was on the 12 by 12 mat, like the full 12 inches, which was the pattern paper roof piece, or the part of the roof on pattern paper. Guess that sounds better. And I made one other change. Well, I guess you could say two other changes. I enlarged the opening, which when I enlarged, I had to move this down, and I didn't drag it around or anything. I just highlighted it, targeted it, selected, that's the word, selected it, and typed in on the top of the screen to resize that I wanted it a 3.5 inch circle. And then when I did that, it left it centered. It just enlarged it like that. So I moved it down with my the down arrow on my keypad so that it would stay centered here. And I moved this down the same way. That way I didn't have to worry about dragging it, and it stayed lined up. And then after, just to be sure, after I had done that to the base piece and the panel that was going to be for the pattern paper, I did stack them on top of each other to make sure that that worked. But I thought I would explain that this is not the original size. I enlarged the whole house, and then I enlarged the opening so I could use this as a doorway. So now I am just going to start assembling. And well, I'll start with the base. I don't know, I might just go straight through. Maybe I'll come back and check in, but I'm not gonna talk away through the whole assembly because Snapdragon does have their own photo tutorial. So I'll see you when I'm ready for the next step. I am going to kind of work this part backwards. I'll show you the finished product, and then I'll follow it up with a extremely sped up version or video section of assembly. Extremely sped up, because you don't need to, I don't think you need to really watch my video for the assembly instructions, because Snapdragon Snippets has a photo tutorial, and I'll link that on the blog post. But real quick, this is my Foley assembled birdhouse. And if you saw my second project, wait, if you saw my, I got it right here, this project here, this was my second project this month. These brick chipboard pieces are what I had left, and they had a coat of paint on them, just a single coat with no gesso, just to give them a little bit of the color. And I did not stitch the stacks together. I only put the decorative stitches on the top, or on the pattern paper that's on top of the stacks. Just a little bit there for some different textures. And then I have my bricks here, and on the back I used the gel medium to attach my frame, and I bent the I just let it follow the curve of the frame for the roof. And then I have a stick, and as you can see, I used my bricks to cover up the back hole. But this is just a stick from my yard. I had cut out this, which in the Snapdragon instructions, this is used to cover a dowel. In the original scale, I think it's a 5/8 inch dowel. 3/8. It's a 3/8 inch dowel in the original scale. And in my scale, it would have been, well, I don't think I could have got a half. I might have been able to get a 1/2 inch. But I decided, instead of having the paper sticking out, I would just utilize my access to nature and get a stick that had been part of trees that my husband had cut down just to thin out all the undergrowth. We had a lot of little trees and nothing could grow, so he had trimmed this a while ago, and so I just got that. Didn't want anybody to think I was just snatching them off of live trees. Anyhow, so this is my finished house. Well, I think I'm gonna glue down these ends here to make sure that they stay flat. But this is my finished birdhouse. It's still drying, and after it is dry, then I will finish the decorating of it. So real quick, I will put in an extremely sped up version of assembly. I have been thinking about, like, I only have these little, I have very little transparency left from the kit. And so I kind of trimmed it down, and I'm having thoughts, and I think I'm going to kind of do this, I don't know, with this one, but behind it I'm going to kind of have this one, which I did kind of, I don't know how well you can see, I did kind of cut it with a little bit of a wave to it, but I kind of want it sticking out over like so, like that, and so it'll be like this, right? But obviously that overlap I think looks a little strange, so I am going to paint the back side of these in the olive green, and then let them sit there and dry, and then come back and hopefully get things in. Actually, if I go, I was thinking, I'm trying to thinking, if I kind of go we'll see. I'm just going to paint them for now. If I can, I'll staple them together before I put them in to help hold them where I want them. But I'll have to see how that goes. My pieces are all set here. And to sort of speed things up for me, I sprayed the whole house with this workable fixative. You don't have to use this. Clear gesso would work just as well. Just it would take a little bit more time to dry. And I liked the spray can version of a gesso. It's sort of like gesso, but not as thick. Just because it has so many edges. Anyhow, now that this is taken care of and the paint that I put on the back of these transparency pieces is dry, but I'm going to wait on those. I want to kind of add, there's a reason for this. I want to add some paint, but not heavy. I want to add some paint and some thinned down paint, so it can sort of drip, I guess we'll say drip. I just did what I did up here and all around. Just put some color on, watered it down, and then let it drip. And I'm going to let this air dry, because some areas, are like that. And I can't tilt it right now. But, so I'm just going to let this air dry, and then I'll come back and decide exactly how much I may or may not do to the birdhouse, how much more I may or may not do to this birdhouse before I finish putting it together. And by putting it together, I mean, putting decorations on, which will be that and some butterflies and maybe some flowers for my stash. So after this is dry, I'll see how it looks see if it needs any more, and then I'll hopefully be able to finish up soon. My watered down paint is, well, mostly dry, and you can see it's not too heavy, just some spots. Maybe, you know, just kind of having a little bit of, I don't know, discoloration, age spots. You know, you can see a little bit of it where, you know, it appears as though it's yellowing. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, I'm gonna work on decorating this little window I made, and see if I can't kind of get it to come together in my favor. Okay, my transparency pieces are in place. This one might wiggle, but I'll be adding flowers into the holes, and these flowers are from Rene Bouquets, and these are also some Rene Bouquet flowers, and they're going to be I don't know, my whole covering, something like that. I'm gonna see, maybe I'll use this one. I have one where I accidentally pulled the stem off. Don't ask me how. And so I'm just going to kind of like try to use it like so. There we go. Maybe that'll work. So I am just going to start arranging these flowers from Rene Bouquets and see where that takes me. Okay, my parts are dried on, or at least most of the way, but I was looking at this, and then you can see some of the watered down paint on here that I had let drip on, these darker spots. But I was looking, and I was thinking, I'm going to add some of the olive green. I mean, it's going to go on even more watered down. But I think I'm just going to try to add a little bit of color. Okay, my birdhouse, well, I guess I should call it a butterfly house, but my birdhouse is completed. You can see the green paint in spots, and it is very subtle on here. I didn't want it to overpower, and there's some of the original or the first paint. I just wanted a little bit of extra color on here, but it is done and it is dry and it is ready to set up someplace. It'd be really good for a spring decor with the flowers and the butterflies. So I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope it gave you some ideas on what can be done with this month's mixed media kit. I will be back next month with more projects using next month's kit. Thank you for joining us here at Tres Jolie, and I will, on the blog, I will link the Snapdragon snippet photo tutorial for building their birdhouse. And I'll see you next month.